You're still watching TVC Breakfast. Great conversations we've had in Lagos. We now take you all the way to the center of unity where we have TJ Suadeoye and Eshomomo Imodu with the FCT brief. Abuja, in Akwana, the conversation is with you.
Good morning, Ria. A beautiful Tuesday morning once again here in the FCT. And of course, our table is loaded. So sit back, relax while we take you on this beautiful journey in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, good morning, Nigerians. Today we're taking away from politics, going to the Niger Delta. TJ?
Yes. Well, let's go into what we have for you today. You're welcome to FCT Brief. Now, concerns are mounting in Nigeria's oil-rich Niger Delta as the House of Representatives raises a red flag over the growing politicization of oil pipeline surveillance contracts. At the heart of the matter is a critical national asset, Nigeria's oil infrastructure, where questions of security, transparency, and economic stability intersect. Lawmakers warn that turning surveillance contracts into political patronage could undermine efforts to curb oil theft, sabotage, and revenue losses that continue to weigh heavily on the nation's economy. Oil pipeline surveillance rep cautions on politicization of contracts in the Niger Delta.
The debate goes beyond contracts. It speaks to trust, inclusion, and the long-standing challenges in the Niger Delta. For many stakeholders, effective pipeline surveillance is not just about protecting crude oil, but also about empowering local communities, ensuring accountability and sustainable peace in the region that has historically borne the brunt of environmental degradation and economic neglects. As tensions simmer, the call for a more professional, transparent, and community-driven approach grows louder. Now, to further understand what the critical issues are, we're joined by Udengs Speaking, former president of the Ijaw Youth Council and a key voice on Niger Delta affairs. He will offer insights into the implications of politicizing surveillance contracts and what it means for security, governance, and development in the region. It's nice to have you here this morning.
Yeah, thank you, and good morning, Nigerians.
You're welcome.
Yeah. What is it about this pipeline surveillance and the House of Reps has a caution that it should not be politicized? I know it was a contract given to government. Tompolo is Tantita, and for some time now there have been a lot of people going on air saying, look, he's the best person for the job. It shouldn't be given to any other person. Why are we so fixated about who should handle this contract?
I think the first thing is to commend the House of Representatives for clearly stating the obvious, that the pipeline contract is about to be politicized. I would delve into that, but I think that first, Tantita is a registered organization in Nigeria under CAC, got their license from the Nigeria Civil Defense, bidded for a project. The pipeline security itself is one project out of the entire gamut of the NNPC activities. You have drilling, you have seismic activities, you have exploration. The securing of pipelines became an issue because of the issues in the Nigeria. That's what the NNPC decided that, look, they need to issue out contracts. And this contract, this is not the first time it's happening. It has happened in the past. A lot of companies had been involved and nobody made any issue about it. Tantita, being a registered institution in Nigeria, participated in a competitive bid where you must prove your capacity to do the job. And they won their bid, just as over 6 other companies won the same pipeline in various regions of the country. And so today, when people begin to talk about Tantita, why are they now all talking about the benefits, the financial aspect of it? Nobody's talking about the difficult job that was done by that company. Before this company was issued this job, because they have a support base in Chief Government Tompolo. Tompolo is not the Tantita himself. He just happened to support the company. He called Niger Delta leaders, called groups, all kinds of persons came to his place to say, look, there's a job that is coming. How do we work together? And then partition this job. They're talking about decentralization. Decentralized it around the states of the Niger Delta where pipeline is crisscrossing and gave it to different organizations according to community structures. So if you go and look at what they are doing, they engage community. engage youth groups, engage CDC, engage women. So everybody is part of it, because the crisis that followed in the Niger Delta saw everybody becoming part of the entire business. There was a time there was an explosion somewhere in Imo State, and you saw hundreds of people died there. It's not everybody there was involved. You see, some people are just middlemen. So this oil crisis created a lot of angles where people came in to offer a lot of services. So if you want to deal with it, it's not just going to one group of people to say, because you are a leader in this place, only you can deal with it. No, you must ensure that the entire structures, women, people who are doing middlemen and all that. So Tantita did all that, Tompolo did all that process of engagement before this project started. And since the project started, we must make it clear, there have been peace in the Niger Delta. If you drive around the region now, you see that there's no more leakage of pipelines. So the green, if you begin to see green around the Niger Delta, before almost all the vegetation was dead. But today we are seeing all that rejuvenating the Niger Delta. The east-west road, in the past Decembers, from September, you start to see kidnapping because of the Yuletide season. But for the past 3 years, all that is now history. You can drive at any time in the Niger Delta. So when people are talking about the decentralization, the pipeline itself has been decentralized. It's just that there is a misunderstanding among some of the leaders who were part of the amnesty program. They are beginning to transfer the amnesty right to other aspects of Nigerian society. They want to go to NNPC and believe that because I was part of the amnesty program, so it is my right to have a project in Nigeria. No, you sign an amnesty deal. So far, so good. Tompolo had migrated from those days to being a Nigerian, participating in everything that happens in the country.
We hear you very correctly, and you said that the Tantita, bidded for this project and won. But you agree with me that Nigeria's petroleum infrastructure is quite large, and just being in the hands of one private firm might, people might see it as maybe in the future it may lead to compromise, or maybe the firm being overstretched and all of that. Don't you think other firms, private firms too, should be given opportunity to also control that?
There are over 6 firms involved. You want me to begin to mention their names? There are over 6 firms.
Yes.
Even in Nasarawa here, there is a firm that is doing the line that is going to the north. The ones going to Suleja, there are people doing it. In Arepo, there are other companies. In the Niger Delta, there are about 3 companies are involved. Why is it about Tantita? Because he was part of the amnesty program. I'm just telling you, some people feel that because all of us are part of amnesty, you shouldn't migrate to other parts of the society. Anything you do now is our own. Go and put yourself together. If you go to EA fields, a lot of vessels are carrying out operations there. Why have they not gone there to say, look, I put myself together, give me this job, I'm going to do it? There's a lot of support services going on in the oil and gas sector. People are supplying water, people are supplying diesel, people are supplying confectionaries. Why have they not gone there and said, this is happening in the Niger Delta, so we must be giving? If you put yourself together and follow the due process, you will get. I participated in some of these things, but I wasn't able to pay probably the signature bonus. That's why we couldn't get our own oil field. Right now, the oil bid round is on. They should put themselves together and go ask for it. Why must it be the one that Tompolo is doing?
Okay. Why must it be the one Tompolo is doing? Now, I guess you also believe in inclusivity. Because if some persons are raising their voices, it's because they feel that they've been excluded. And for the system to run very well, because the Niger Delta do not want to get back to where it used to be, where you just talked about security in the Niger Delta has been so peaceful. Now, you don't want to have a situation whereby those who feel that they've been excluded will now look for other means to sabotage the system. So is it not possible? Now, you say you have about 4, but you see, it can be bigger. You can have a larger space because the more the merrier. Now, why is it difficult to bring all these people who have divergent views on board? Because nobody's a monopoly of knowledge of how to secure the pipelines. So if you bring other people on board, it's a better stuff
No, you see, you need to be clear on which people you want to bring on board now. Because one, I've just told you that the job itself has been decentralized. Community structure, these lines pass through communities. In my own place, Banana Fields, Shell has one of the biggest facilities in Africa there. But because that place have not been given as part of the contract, because the contract, they looked at line trunk airlines that were going to deliver products for export. And so most of those communities are the communities that are the, which I say the critical stakeholders. Those communities are involved. Other factors that create conflict in the region go beyond individuals. These individuals are also participating. They are paid money from this process. So why is it that if we don't carry those particular people, 4 persons along, it means that no other person is in the region? The amnesty program, there are over thousands of young people in the Niger Delta. But a group of people that they felt were leaders were the people that, led other people. But that process is past. This is a new regime, is a new process. If you want contract, go to NNPC and bid for it. Every contract has a term. Within that term and the scope of work, they have issued it to a person. The same person is saying, I don't want to do it alone, and decentralized it. But some other groups say, if it is not them, are they more stakeholder than myself? I was part and parcel of the process. There are still other leaders who are part of the process. You don't hear them. You see, if all of them now come and say, this job we must be given, there will be chaos everywhere. I think that Tantita is doing what is right. They have engaged, decentralized. That's why you hear the conflict. Some people are raising issues from other places to say we have not been involved. And once they are genuine, Tantita sits down and says, okay, these people are genuine. They are part of our scope, so come in. And if you look at the job is in scopes. Some of the people that are complaining are also part of the job. I know one of the persons who is busy going around putting people together is a contractor with Tantita. Is also a subcontractor with Oluofori company, the pipeline infrastructure. So there is also greed, a factor of greed here. Let us not, because of a few people, say that no, you go and decentralize somebody's job. Go and bid, and when you are giving, then you can do it the way you want.
All right, Mr.
But so far, so good. The Niger Delta is peaceful.
You have presented a position that it is open for bidding at the NNPC.
Yes.
Well, why are you also arguing against involving host communities to directly also be involved in the protection of the
I'm not arguing against. I've just told you that communities are involved. Whichever way you look at it, there must be some. It's like a pyramid system. Even in the NNPC, somebody must supervise a process. And the man who is giving the job, I've brought in communities. Maybe the next time I'll come and sit, I will bring the list of all the communities and contractors so that you will now see for yourself. In Nigeria, you cannot satisfy everybody. But if you are able to deal with those who are the stakeholders, I think that you have made progress. And so far, so good. The reports coming from the Niger Delta, the indicators that I have mentioned here, the region is peaceful. Recently, you see a lot of investors going in to want to own assets in the region. The government is about to begin the process of the pipeline bids, the oil bid rounds. You can see all the companies that are involved. Internationally, people are coming in. If the confidence was not there, nobody will come in. So if you look at the indicators of a succeeding process, clearly I've spelled them out for you. The region is peaceful. Young people, you don't have all this conflict that you used to hear. But now a group of people say it's about the money. Nobody's talking about the job. The effort that is put, nobody's talking about it. No, why should they be giving this company money? Is it the only company involved? There are more than 6 of them.
Okay, there's an ex-militant who is making so much a statement on this. He has raised the issue of monopoly, like my colleague rightly put out. He has raised the issue of exclusion of stakeholders, and also raised the issue of fair distribution. Now, he's primarily saying that the contract that is supposed to be meant for ex-stakeholders is being monopolized by Tompol. I'm talking about Asari Dokubo. He's been very, very outspoken on this issue, that this is supposed to be a contract. And for 4 years, Tantita has been in charge since 2022. So is it not time also we open the space and allow others to come in?
First of all, before you answer that, we need to take a quick commercial break now. Don't go anywhere. We still have more for you on the program. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with FCT Brief. We're still talking all pipeline surveillance. I will still have with us Mr. Udengs. You're asking a question.
Earlier I talked about the voice of Mujahid Asari Dokubo, who is saying, look, there is the monopoly by Tompolo, no fair distribution, and they are not involved in stakeholders. This contract was originally meant for the ex-militant leaders.
First of all, I don't know which of the statements to stand on, because I have seen Alhaji Asari in different times talk about Tompolo is the one who owns the job, so he should be allowed to do his work. He's only saying that in his own area, he too should be given the opportunity.
That's the Calabar.
Yes, that's what he said. I think today I saw a video where he was showing vessels that were carrying products. That's another area we'll go to. But first of all, this job was never issued as a contract for ex-militants. No. It was an NNPC open bid process for NNPC to protect their lines so that the oil can flow, because people were tampering. And what are the factors? Community engagement, young people, a lot of conflict organizations. Everybody felt that if I go do profile, I will make money. So when you look at the stakeholders involved, Tantita went to gather the stakeholders. So we must begin to define who are the real stakeholders. It's not because I was a former IYC president that makes me overall stakeholder in this business. They are also communities. They are also youth groups. They are cult organizations. They are criminal gangs that don't respect anybody. They don't owe allegiance to anybody. But they are critical stakeholders that you must carry along. For over 4 months, we saw some of it on TV here. Tompolo had been busy engaging every stakeholder. I know that I took some chiefs and youth leaders who were making trouble. In fact, at a point, a group went and, put dynamite on a line. So when I say in my environment, this cannot happen, what was the issue that needed to be carried along?
All right, Mr. Udengs.
Sorry.
Okay.
I decided to take them to him to say, look, hear from the horse's mouth. And he said, look, this area is not part of my job. When it comes, I'm going to engage you people. And this is how he engaged stakeholders, including these stakeholders. We know if we talk some things for a year, if not. Some of them receive hundreds of millions every month from the same Tompolo, just to say, as a leader, you hold this side for me. And then they are taken care of. Their boys are also engaged. Those ones that are in the communities, because we have had this experience where leaders take things on behalf of people and it never gets to the people. So when you want to deal with them, even when I deal with companies, I always tell them, when you finish with the Jaguda, then make sure that you engage the people on the ground. The people on the ground are engaged. The community structures, there's no more crisis in Bayelsa, for instance. Bayelsa has been very peaceful. Why? Because Tantita is pumping a lot of money into the economy. Groups that used to have conflicts are all, at the end of the month, they are seeing something, because they must also keep an eye. So when somebody says it's a job meant for militants, why is it only the Tantita's own out of 6 and more that is now for militants? The one in Arepo, is it for militants as well? The one going to the north, the Nasarawa lines, is it for militants as well? The other ones that other contractors in the Niger Delta are handling, are those ones for militants as well? What of the one that they are supervising? There's a supervising arm of it that other people from other regions are holding. Is it also for militants? So look, let us not stereotype this Nigerian system to who can shout more should be given, or who will carry arms. What of those of us who have been peaceful? So we are no longer human beings in the region. The same way the amnesty, a lot of people got involved, but a group of people were seen as the leaders and they were taken care of. That care must not be extended to other aspects of Nigerian economy. Right, not because you are a former warlord, so NNPC must bow to you, or NITEL must bow to you. No. Okay, you participate as a Nigerian.
Let's put aside all this personal interest and talk about effective service delivery. Can you tell us what independent audit system or verifiable assessment exists that, helps us understand if contracts like this, especially the ones that involve Tantita, are really delivering value for money?
Okay, I just told you here that a lot of companies are now migrating to participate in the investments in the Niger Delta. People are coming from abroad. The president is signing deals here and there on oil deals because there's now confidence. The bid rounds, the other one that came, you saw the quantum of companies that got involved. This one, now everybody is running everywhere to participate because of the progress that they have seen. I told you that you travel in the region now before, if you hold a white handkerchief, you clean your face, you see the black suit. It's no longer there. Port Harcourt, you used to know, I'm sure you could spoke about the black suit in Port Harcourt, where you wake up in the morning, your entire house is with a petroleum suit. It's no longer there. I told you about traveling in the region. You will never hear during the December Yuletide season where kidnapping is happening in every other part of the country. Have you heard it in the Niger Delta? So these are the indicators I've just mentioned. A lot of young people, the Asiwaju's government is relaxed in the region because there's a lot of support. Because that Tantita have created a lot of jobs for young people. For several years now, Bayelsa have been touted as one of the most peaceful states. Why? Because Tantita's activity is engaging a lot of young people. Okay. I contested for governorship in Bayelsa State. I did campaigns around the waterways. Before, it is difficult to drive around the waterways. But you see these young people getting involved. You go there, you see speedboats. They are monitoring the lines. But you see, the main issue here, we talked about indicator. We are producing about 1.6 million barrels from the pipelines. Since this process started, you saw how the increment started from 700 to we are about 1.6. But there is a major issue here. Most of the companies claim that the pipelines were not secure, so they started barging. They started using vessels to carry their products. Who is monitoring those products? Starling Global, right from time they came, they were the people who started using river liners to carry their product from Kwale to the offshore. People saw that this trucking thing, this barging thing is the way they will go. So the last bid round, almost all the companies that Nigerian companies that got involved are lifting their products. The question now is, who is monitoring those products? Don't also forget, Tantita does not handle the offshores, the blue waters they call it, where most of our products are carried offshore. Who is the person monitoring them? There is a big fraud in Nigeria going on. You know, our country has come to the point where everybody does what he likes. Once they see a loophole, they want to take advantage of it. Since we started this local content law and Nigerians started getting involved, you're not seeing the progress that is expected. So there's a theft going on. Because of the Iran war, a lot of companies are now looking for people that they can use to create the problem so that they can be siphoning these products.
Let's stay on this ongoing theft you talked about. Is it possible that certain individuals decided to create the problem in the waterways so that just like the pipelines, because just like the pipeline contract was given out to some stakeholders, created this other problem so that the Nigerian states will not look their ways. You said Tantita is not directly involved with the offshore. This ongoing theft you talked about, is it that some individuals are deciding to create this problem again?
We have always had a cartel in Nigeria that have been involved in this process. Once there is a loophole, they begin to, fund that process. Let me tell you, there are dimensions to this. One, there is a theft going on. Two, there is politics. The theft that is going on now is that those areas that are not properly manned, they are not reporting. NUPRC and NNPC must rejig itself and begin to monitor what those Nigerians are producing. They are carrying all kinds of badges. They badge their products. Who is recording what they are badging? What is on the pipeline is what we are getting 1.6 million and moving forward.
Just the pipeline?
Just the pipeline. Because those lines are flowing now. The records are there. But who is monitoring the inland producers who are using badges and sometimes trucks? When they come to you, when the security come, they will show you that, look, we have clearance. But clear to do what? What is the quantity you are carrying? Go to the offshore, the blue waters, all those jackets, the bunga fields and all those areas. Who is there monitoring what they are carrying? Since Nigerians took over, they have brought their corrupt practice into the NNPC. The NNPC and NUPRC must rejig itself because communities are losing. We say 3% of what you produce is what we are going to get as community funds, those community funds. Who knows what these companies are producing? So I think that that's where the main problem is. And this issue of pipeline decentralization is a diversion. Clearly a diversion that is being funded. The Iran war has made oil very, very important in the world. They are everywhere in the Niger Delta now looking for how to engage people that will begin to bring this product so that they can service those refineries that need oil because of the Strait of Hormuz. So you can see that just all of a sudden, the thing begins to heighten up. It shows that there's something very sinister going on. And I think that it is time for government to look at it. The political angle is this. The Tantita have engaged a lot of young people. Tantita has over 50,000 young people engaged. That is 50,000 votes and more. Because those 50,000 and above has other people that they are supporting. Some people are saying that this one is one straight line. What do we do to scatter it? That's why a group of people can come on air and begin to threaten 2027 election. What concerns 2027 election with decentralization of a job?
Right,
a job that you don't understand. You need to understand it properly.
Because
it is
of
not
our time.
Stakeholder work.
Because
it is a
of
job
our time, we understand
NNPC.
that there are reports of Tantita and the Nigerian Navy. There's accusation of and counter accusations of a conflict between these two groups. If this kind of feisty relationships exist between the two groups, how are you securing the pipelines, ensuring that production is the pipelines are well secured if you have issues between the Tantita, which is the private security, and also the Nigerian Navy?
Well, I think that those conflicts between them happen to be in the ocean aspect of it, the deep offshore aspect. The pipelines are basically in the creeks, and those ones are not, they have not raised issues. But I know that they had issue with the Navy when they were trying to intercept a particular vessel. I think there was some complicity around that, but that is left for the energy security to deal with. The Nigerian government have an energy security desk. That desk responsibility is to ensure that all these loopholes are plugged. If you go to the Andoni axis, there are a lot of companies there that are carrying a lot of products. Who is securing those products? The offshore, where the vessels come and carry the products, those areas are not secured. So there's a lot of theft going on. And so for me, my dear, part of the conflict that you see is engineered. When they feel that, okay, you are beginning to encroach my space, then there has to be conflict. But I think that beyond that, there was an agreement between government and Tantita and all that. They brought themselves together and they've been working effectively.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was just going to say that, do you think that the Navy has capacity to supervise the waterways against those lifting the oil through barges?
I think that the Navy, over the years, we have seen that there has been complicity. And that's why the government decided to look for an alternative to deal with this. During the conflict days, we were all involved in the Niger Delta, so we know what transpires there. But, going forward, we know that our Navy, they can do the job, but there has to be collaboration between them and the locals. You cannot do it better than the people who own the place.
We've run out of time, but I must say thank you so much for your contributions on the program. It's a delight speaking with you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.